So I found a house, made an offer, and it was accepted. Today I'm going to be dishing out all of the things that happens when you are under contract. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Javon, and this is my 6th video in an ongoing playlist that I am creating that documents my out-of-state investment journey from beginning to end. If you have not caught my other videos, then no worries. Make sure you do so. I will be leaving a link down below so that way you can go ahead and check out each and every one of those videos. Here, I am revealing everything that I have faced along the way, the challenges, the victories, all of that. Nothing held from you. Make sure you check out the whole entire playlist because it is really something amazing that I'm putting together. So in the last video that I made for this playlist, episode 5, I revealed 2 properties for you guys that I was interested in. Property A and property B. In that video, I broke down the numbers that I thought made sense, which property I wanted to go with. I didn't know, I left that up for grabs, and I'm revealing that here, the property I decided to go with is property B. I decided to put an offer on property B, and I got it under contract for $70,000. Now, all of this happened in early November with a set closing date of December the 4th. Since then, I have closed on the property. It is officially mine, and I will be making a video about that, breaking down the numbers, where I am going forward, etc. But today, I really want to focus on everything that happened to me when I was under the under contract phase. And if you stick with me till the end, I'm even going to reveal something special just for you. So one of the first things that I had to do after putting in an offer and having it accepted was to sign a purchase and sales agreement by myself and also with the seller. Once that was done, I notified my lender that I found a property of interest, and I also sent my title attorney $1,000 worth of earnest money. Now, earnest money is usually expected in real estate deals, and it's basically just something that tells the seller that you are serious about the deal and you are not just wasting time. If you go forward with the deal, the earnest money will be included in your final cost, so no worries there. Now is probably a really good time to mention that I am not a licensed professional, an attorney. I don't have any certifications for real estate or anything of that nature. I am just a person on YouTube sharing his investment journey with you from the eyes of a beginner. With all that said, before you go out, make any big moves, make sure you seek a licensed professional. Quick disclaimer, I am not that professional. After the earnest money was sent in and accepted, that got the ball rolling, and I had a total of 2 weeks to perform my due diligence. So one of the first things that I did after sending in my earnest money and alerting all of my people of what was going on was order an inspection for the house. The inspection is going to be something that is going to cost you out of pocket. Mine's cost me a total of $300, and I even had the opportunity to throw in an additional sewer line inspection for an extra $200. Now, your inspection cost is going to depend on your area and what all you have done, but please don't skip out on inspections, especially if you're a homeowner or especially if you're going to use this property for investments, because you need to know what is wrong with the house. Your inspection can literally save you thousands of dollars on the back end. Mine's definitely did, and I'm going to dive into how. Now, with my own personal inspection, a lot of things was revealed in the report. For instance, the roof was really old and nearing its end of life. The toilet was leaking, and due to the toilet leaking, there was water damage in the subfloor and also the joists underneath. Now, after all of my research and talking with investors and reading books, I know that infrastructure, I know that roof, and I know that leaks and waters, all of those are really big ticket items that you don't want to incur, especially if this is going to be your first deal, especially if you are investing out of state, and especially if you are looking to save money and not spend it. Knowing all of this, I focused on the big ticket items, and after having a conversation with my realtor, we asked that the seller fix the roof, fix the leak, and also fix the damage to the subfloor and the joists underneath that happened as well. Now, doing something like this, asking a seller to fix what you find in the inspections, can be worrisome for some people because they don't want to lose a deal. My advice to you guys is the same advice I applied to myself, and it's really simple. Don't be afraid to walk away from a deal if it no longer makes sense. A lot of investors and also homeowners get themselves into bad investments, bad situations, because they let their emotions run rampant and they got into a deal because of their emotions and not because of the numbers. At the end of the day, you have to remember that this is ultimately a business decision, and though emotions can be helpful in business decisions, you shouldn't let them impact what you do always. When I asked the sellers to make these changes, I was perfectly okay with walking away if they said no, so that way I could focus on finding a better deal. Luckily for me though, the seller was pretty motivated and my requests were pretty fair, so they said yes and we pushed forward. After asking the seller to make these changes to the house and having them say yes, both me and the seller signed an addendum that basically said I was allowed to pull my earnest money back even after the inspection if they failed to uphold their part in fixing the things that found was wrong in the inspection. That was the very first hurdle that I had to go through. After that though, things went smoothly and I continued working with a lender. At this point, it is important to note that I had 2 lenders at the time, and I was talking to each lender trying to figure out which one I was going to work with based on the rates that they were allowed to offer me. So one of the lenders ended up beating the under lenders because they could give me a better interest rate, and I ended up choosing them. It is important that you know that you should shop with multiple people so that way you can save money as well. Now, I said this in a previous video already, but in order to be pre-approved, in order to buy a house, I had already provided a couple of documents to the lenders that I was talking to. Some of those documents included my 3 most recent pay stubs, 2 years of tax returns, my most recent W-2 statements, and also 2 months worth of banking statements with the banks that I bank with. On top of this, once I actually moved into the process of buying the house for myself, I also had to provide additional documents, those documents being my 3 most recent mortgage statements to prove that I actually am paying on the house that I currently have, proof of insurance that I have for the house that I currently live in, receipts of payments that I make to my homeowners association for the house that I currently live in, a note detailing how much I planned on getting for rent for the property that I'm curious about investing in, and also verification of employment, which, if you don't know how to get, can usually be handled by your HR department. Make sure you go talk to somebody from there. My advice for you in this phase is to make sure that you have everything they are going to need from you already ready to go. It took me less than 40 days from the moment I knew I wanted this property to the moment of closing in order to actually close on it. And I'm pretty sure it took me that small amount of time because I was so prepared. Another thing that probably helped me out was my strong credit score, my cash reserves, and also my low amount of debt. At the time of going through this underwriting process, the only debt that I had in my name was the mortgage on the house that I currently live and own. I didn't have any student loan debt, I didn't have any bad credit card debt, and I didn't have a car note. If you want to know how I found myself in that position at the age of 24, definitely let me know down below in the comments, and I will make sure to make a video about that. But all of that combined with my level of preparedness definitely helped me out in the eyes of the lender. If you can place yourself into a similar position like that, then you are going to be in a green, because people who are approaching from that scenario are basically telling lenders that they are good investments, and lenders therefore will want to work with you. And if a lender wants to work with you, so does others. And knowing that gives you more leverage, and more leverage gives you more control for controlling what you want to happen out of this deal for you. The next hurdle that I had to jump through was getting the appraisal done. Now, the lender usually orders the appraisal for you. However, the out-of-expense money that comes with getting the appraisal is going to be coming directly to you. So make sure you have your credit or debit card ready for that purchase. My appraisal personally cost me $425. Cost may vary depending on you, your lender, your area, etc. Now, with my appraisal being scheduled, one of the things that I had to manage was negotiating with a property manager who was currently owning the property to talk to the tenant to let them know that appraisal would be coming by. However, the ball was dropped somewhere in there, and the property manager forgot to alert the tenant that the appraiser was going to come by, so therefore the appraiser couldn't do their thing. Luckily enough, after learning from that and after communicating with my realtor was able to talk with the property manager who talked with the tenant, and we worked together to get that appraisal happen. I made the purchase price for the house for $70,000, but the appraisal came in a little over $71,000, so that was hurdle 2 that we jumped over, and we did it well. With the appraisal done and the inspection done, one of the last things that I had to focus on and pay attention to was to make sure that the actual work on the house done was being performed from the inspection results that we found. Now, after a while, I checked back in with my realtor, and I checked in at the house, and my realtor was able to go by the house, take pictures of the roof, and send me proof that the roof had been done, and also make sure that I get those quotes back from the contractors as well. So that was nice. Getting the bathroom fixed is a little bit of a harder issue since the tenant is currently inside of the house and it is COVID season. So the tenant is going to go on a vacation soon enough, but not before the closing date. So what ended up happening was we got a couple of contractors to quote out the amount of work it's going to take. The seller cut a check for the amount that the contractors quoted, and that check was given to me, given to us at the day of closing, so that way we can pay the contractor when the seller goes on vacation, get in there, get everything fixed, and have the money to provide for all of that. Now, I was not personally there for closing. What I did was sign a power of attorney, which gave someone else the right to sign the documents that would be produced at closing, and I would get those documents afterwards in the form of an email, or I'll get it in the actual mail itself. So that happened on December the 4th. Super excited about it. Overall, this process went really smoothly for me. I'm really excited about the whole thing, and your boy is officially an out-of-state real estate investor. And honestly, it's kind of crazy to say that because it's a goal that I've been focusing on for a while, and the fact that I've been able to attain it is pretty cool. And the fact that I was able to attain it at the age of 24 also makes that even more cool. So there you have it. That was basically my underwriting process in a nutshell. If you have any questions, make sure you hit me down below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer all of them. If this video has been helpful to you, make sure you hit that like button because it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, then what are you doing? I have more content coming your way and you don't want to miss it. My next video in this playlist is going to be revealing everything from the numbers to where I'm going to end up going from here and all of that just for you to know. So make sure you subscribe so that we don't miss out. Don't forget to hit the like, don't forget to subscribe, and until next time you guys, I have to leave you with a peace, love, and happiness.